Hello, welcome to Prerona Television Canada. On behalf of Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, and in collaboration with Prerona TV, we are continuing our leadership speaker series. And today is episode 36, and we are very happy that we're continuing this series. Today, we have a very important topic that we'll be discussing today, and it is servant leadership. And we'll be having session in two parts and two languages. The first part I will be speaking in Bengali, and then next part, uh, Advocate Jiaur Rahman, who is the CEO of IITM, he will be speaking in English. But I will give you a brief idea about what we are going to discuss initially, and then we'll continue our session. So let me share the screen with you. So as I said earlier, that we are having a very important topic today, which is servant leadership. So this servant leadership, uh, our presenter is Advocate Jiaur Rahman. He's the CEO of IITM and adjunct faculty of IUB. We're very happy that we are continuing this session with you today. Let me share with you in Bengali. প্রেরণা টেলিভিশনের পক্ষ থেকে আপনাদের স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। গ্লোবাল একাডেমি অফ হলিস্টিক লিডারশিপ অ্যান্ড কোচিং এর পক্ষ থেকে আমরা এই কোলাবোরেশন এই সেশনটা করি। আজকে আমাদের 36 বা 36তম পর্ব, এবং আজকে আমাদের খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ একটা বিষয়, যেটা হচ্ছে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ। সার্ভেন্ট যে নেতৃত্ব রয়েছে, সেই নেতৃত্বের বিষয়ে আজকে আমরা আলোচনা করব। আমরা প্রেজেন্টেশনে যাওয়ার আগে আমি সংক্ষেপে আপনাদের বাংলায় কিছু বলতে চাই, যারা আমাদের সাথে ফলো করছেন বিশ্বের বিভিন্ন জায়গা থেকে। আমাদের প্রেরণা টিভি কানাডা, এটা কানাডা থেকে, এডমন্টন আলবার্টা কানাডা থেকে পরিচালিত একটি চ্যানেল, এবং গ্লোবাল একাডেমি অফ হোলিস্টিক লিডারশিপ অ্যান্ড কোচিং, গ্লোবাল একাডেমি অফ হোলিস্টিক লিডারশিপ কোচিং এর পক্ষ থেকে আপনাদের স্বাগতম জানাচ্ছি। আজকে আমরা যে বিষয়ে আলোচনা করব, যেটা হচ্ছে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ, যেটা আমরা আগে বলেছি। তো আমরা সাধারণত আমাদের সেশন শুরু করে থাকি একটা কোটেশন দিয়ে, এবং সেই কোটেশনটা হচ্ছে যে প্রথম যেটা কেন ব্ল্যানচার্ডের যে কোটেশন দেওয়া আছে, যে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ ইজ ইজি ফর পিপল উইথ হাই সেলফ এস্টিম। তার মানে যে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ, মানে যে নেতৃত্বের কথা বলা আছে, যে যাদের মধ্যে প্রচন্ড রকম বা অত্যন্ত অধিক যে আত্মসচেতনতা বোধ বা যে এস্টিম, সেলফ এস্টিম রয়েছে, এবং সাচ পিপল হ্যাভ নো প্রবলেম গিভিং ক্রেডিট টু আদার্স। এবং এই সমস্ত ব্যক্তি অন্যদেরকে তাদের যে যা প্রাপ্য, সেটা প্রাপ্য দিয়ে তারা কুণ্ঠাবোধ করে না। দে হ্যাভ নো প্রবলেম লিসনিং টু আদার পিপল আর আইডিয়াস। তাদের কোনো সমস্যা হয় না অন্যদের কথা শুনতে অথবা অন্যদের কোনো মতামত জানতে। দে হ্যাভ নো প্রবলেম ইন বিল্ডিং আদার পিপল আপ, এবং তাদের কোনো সমস্যা হয় না অন্যদেরকে উপরে উঠাতে বা সামনের দিকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে। খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ একটা ব্যক্তি, এবং সত্যিকারে অনেক ক্ষেত্রে দেখা যায় একটা সংগঠনে বা একটা অর্গানাইজেশনে এটা সত্যিকারে একটা চ্যালেঞ্জিং। অনেকের ক্ষেত্রে সেই মহানুভবতা বা তার সেই ধরনের উদার ভাব থাকে না। তো সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপের এইটাই সবচেয়ে বড় গুণাগুণ, যে সার্ভেন্ট লিডার তারাই হতে পারে যাদের মধ্যে এই গুণাগুণগুলো রয়েছে। এবং আরেকটা কোটেশন যেটা দেওয়া আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে যে মলি মার্টি নামে এক ব্যক্তি, তার কোটেশন দেওয়া আছে, নোবেল লিডার answers not to the trumpet calls or self promotion but to the hushed whispers of necessity। মানে খুব সংক্ষেপে যেটা বলা হয়েছে, যেটা প্রয়োজন সে প্রয়োজনটাকে গুরুত্ব দেওয়া, মানে নিজেকে জাহির করার জন্য নয়। তো সেটা খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। আরেকটা মার্টিন লুথার কিং জুনিয়র, তার একটা খুব বক্তব্য রয়েছে, এভরিবডি ক্যান বি গ্রেট বিকজ এভরিবডি ক্যান সার্ভ। সবাই কিন্তু মহৎ হতে পারে যখন আমরা অন্যজনকে সেবা করি বা সেবার আমাদের মনোভাব থাকে। এটা খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ একটা কথা। জিম জর্জ নামে আরেক ব্যক্তি রয়েছে, সার্ভিং আদার্স প্রিপেয়ারস ইউ টু লিড আদার্স। আমরা যদি অন্যদেরকে সেবা করি, তাহলে কিন্তু আহ আমরা অন্যদেরকে কিন্তু আমরা পরিচালনা করতে পারি, মানে আমরা একজন পরিচালক বা আমরা একজন নেতৃত্ব দিতে আমরা সক্ষম হই। লিডারশিপের কথা বলা আছে, ইজ অ্যাবাউট সার্ভিং পিপল অ্যান্ড লিসনিং টু পিপল সো ইউ ক্যান বিকাম লাভড। সো ইন লিডারশিপ যেটা বলা আছে, যে সার্ভিং, আমরা যে অন্যদেরকে সেবা করি, এবং শুধু সেবা করা না, তাদের কথা শোনা, আহ, এবং এর ফলে কি হয় যে আমরা আমরা যখন অন্যদের কথা শুনি, মানুষের কথা শুনি, তখন কিন্তু আমাদেরকে মানুষ ভালোবাসা ভালোবাসা আমরা পেতে পারি। তো এই বিষয়টা খুবই গুরুত্বপূর্ণ নেতৃত্বের। এখন সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ সম্পর্কে এক ভদ্রলোক রবার্ট কে গ্রিনলিভ 1904 সাল থেকে 1990 সাল পর্যন্ত ওনার জীবনকাল, was the founder of modern servant leadership movement and Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership। এই ব্যক্তিকে বলা হয় বর্তমানের যে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ মুভমেন্টের জনক, এবং গ্রিনলিভ সেন্টার ফর সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ নামে একটা প্রতিষ্ঠান, তার প্রতিষ্ঠাতা। এবং এখানে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপের স্কোপ এবং পসিবিলিটি, কি কি সুযোগ রয়েছে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপে, সেই বিষয়টা নিয়ে আমরা খুব সংক্ষেপে আলোচনা করব। আমাদের সাথে অ্যাডভোকেট জিয়াউর রহমান এসেছেন, উনি আমাদের কো ট্রেনার, উনি আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করবেন। যারা আমাদের সাথে আছেন আমাদের পরবর্তীতে ইংরেজি সেশনে, উনি আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করবেন। তো এখানে মূল গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয় আমাদের যেটা হচ্ছে ফোকাস ইজ টু সার্ভ, তার মানে আমাদের আমাদের মূলটা হচ্ছে সেবা করা, বাট এইটাই আমাদের কেন্দ্রীয় কেন্দ্রবিন্দু বা দৃষ্টি আমাদের এটা রাখতে হয়। তো এবং এটা হচ্ছে টোটাল কাস্টমার সেন্ট্রিক, তার মানে হচ্ছে যে আমাদের যারা ক্লায়েন্ট বা কাস্টমার, তাদের তাদের দিকে চিন্তা করে আমরা এই কাজগুলো করি। তো তারাই আমাদের লক্ষ্য বস্তু বা তাদের বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা এই কাজগুলো করি। লিডার লার্নস অ্যান্ড সার্ভ, মানে নেতা কি করে, তারা শিখে এবং তারা সার্ভ করে। এবং এক্সপ্লোর অপরচুনিটি টু বেজ অন ট্রাস্ট, তার মানে এই বিশ্বাসের উপর ভিত্তি করে আমরা সুযোগ সৃষ্টি করতে পারি এবং খুঁজতে পারি। এবং ফ্রেন্ডলি ইন নেচার, তার মানে এটা হচ্ছে বন্ধুত্বপূর্ণ একটা পরিবেশ সৃষ্টি করা। তো এই সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপের যে বিষয়গুলো রয়েছে, এর প্রতি একটা দেখা যাচ্ছে ভালোবাসা, প্রেম ভালোবাসা বা মানে সেবার একটা বিষয় রয়েছে, যার ফলে আমরা কিন্তু আমাদের মধ্যে একটা সহমর্মিতা, আমাদের মধ্যে ভালোবাসা, আমাদের মধ্যে একটা একাত্মবোধ আমরা দেখতে পাই, এবং এর ফলে কিন্তু আমরা কৃতকার্য হতে পারি। এরপরে যে বিষয়টা নিয়ে আমরা একটু আলোচনা করব সেটা হচ্ছে লয়্যালটি, বা আমাদের যেটা বাংলায় যদি আমরা বলি সেটা হচ্ছে আহ নির্ভর যোগ্যতা বা নির্ভর আমরা যখন করি কারোর প্রতি। আম, তো এখানে যে প্রথমটা বিষয় হচ্ছে আনকোয়েশ্চেনেবল, তার মানে এটা প্রশ্নাতীত বা প্রশ্নের অতীত।
অগাধ বিশ্বাসও
অগা-
বলা।
অগাধ বিশ্বাসও বলা যায়, হ্যাঁ। এবং আনকোয়েশ্চেনেবল মানে কি, এটা প্রশ্নের অতীত। যেমন আমরা অনেক নেতা বাংলাদেশের, আমরা যদি বাংলাদেশের কথা বলি বা আমরা ভারতবর্ষের, তো বলি অনেক নেতা আছে যারা অবিংশবাদিত নামে একটা শব্দ রয়েছে, যে তারা বিতর্কের ঊর্ধ্বে, যদিও বা অনেকে তর্কের খাতিরে অনেকে তর্ক করে, কিন্তু মানে জেনারেলি আমরা অনেক ব্যক্তিত্ব বা অনেক মহৎ ব্যক্তি রয়েছে, তাদের তাদের বিষয়ে কিন্তু আমরা আনকোয়েশ্চেনেবল। সো এটা বিষয় কমপ্লিট ফেথ, মানে সম্পূর্ণ বিশ্বাস যাকে করা যায়। ট্রাস্ট, ট্রাস্টিং মানে বিশ্বাস, আস্থা, যার মধ্যে আস্থা করা মানে রাখা যায়। রিলেশনশিপ আর ক্রুশিয়াল, এখানে কিন্তু সম্পর্কটা একটা বড় গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিষয়। এমফাসিস দ্য হিউম্যান কানেকশন, এখানে যে বিষয়ে গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয়েছে সেটা হচ্ছে যে মানুষের যে মানবিক যে সম্পর্ক বা যে কানেকশন, সেই কানেকশনের বিষয়ে এখানে বলা আছে। আর একটা বিষয় বলা আছে যে কোলাবোরেটিভ এন্ড পার্টিসিপেটিভ, তার মানে এই যে লিডারশিপের যে গুণাগুণের মধ্যে এটা কোলাবোরেশনের একটা ব্যাপার রয়েছে, তার মানে সহযোগিতা এবং পার্টিসিপেটের মানে সহযোগ, অন্যকে আমাদের ইনভলভ করা, তার মধ্যে একটা বিষয় রয়েছে। তো এই যে বিষয়গুলো আমরা আজ আলোচনা করলাম, এটার মধ্যে আমরা একটা জিনিস বলতে, আমরা যে অগাধ বিশ্বাস, আস্থা আমরা অর্জন করতে পারি, এবং লিডারশিপের জন্য এটা একটা গুরুত্বপূর্ণ অর্জন বা এটা অর্জন হওয়া উচিত। এখন এরপরে আমরা যে বিষয়টি নিয়ে আলোচনা করব সেটা হচ্ছে অ্যাডাপ্টেবিলিটি অ্যান্ড হিউম্যান মাইন্ডসেট। অ্যাডাপ্টেবিলিটি অ্যান্ড হিউম্যান মাইন্ডসেট, যে কিভাবে আমরা একটা জিনিসকে গ্রহণ করতে পারি, এবং আমাদের যে মানবিক বা মানুষের যে দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি বা আহ, সেই দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি কি হওয়া উচিত। আহ, এখানে একটা বিষয় রয়েছে যে নট ফিট ফর অল, মানে সবার জন্য প্রযোজ্য না। অ্যাবজর্বিং মাইন্ডসেট, যেটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা কোনো কিছু আহ, গ্রহণ করি বা যে কোনো কিছু আমরা গ্রহণ করার যে মানসিকতা, সে মানসিকতা থাকা, এবং স্ট্রং কমিটমেন্ট টু গ্রো অ্যান্ড লার্ন ফ্রম অল, এবং তার মধ্যে যে কোনো কিছু শেখা এবং জানা এবং বৃদ্ধি পাওয়ার জন্য একটা প্রচন্ড রকমের আহ, আত্মবিশ্বাস থাকা উচিত, এবং কমিটমেন্ট থাকা উচিত। সিরিয়াসলি ক্রাশ আর কন্ট্রোল ইগো আর মাস্ট, তার মানে অনেক সময় আমাদের ইগো থাকে, এটাকে কন্ট্রোল করাটা, বা আমাদের মধ্যে যে অহংকার থাকে এটাকে কন্ট্রোল করাটা ক্রাশ মানে ধ্বংস করা বা এবং কন্ট্রোল করা ইগো, আমাদের এটাকে কন্ট্রোল করা দরকার, এটা একদম মাস্ট, মানে অবশ্যই। আর কনস্ট্যান্টলি চ্যালেঞ্জ ওয়ানসেলফ, তার মানে আমাদের সবসময় নিজেদেরকে একটা আহ, আমাদের চ্যালেঞ্জ করতে হবে। এর ফলে হচ্ছে কি যে আমরা আমাদের হিউম্যান মাইন্ডসেট বা আমাদের মানসিক যে দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি এটা পরিবর্তন করতে পারি। আরেকটা বিষয় বলা হচ্ছে বিইং প্রোগ্রেসিভ থিঙ্কিং অ্যান্ড অ্যাক্টিং বিয়ন্ড, মানে সামনের দিকে প্রগতিশীল, যে শব্দটা বাংলায় বলে প্রগতিশীল বা প্রোগ্রেসিভ করা, এবং থিঙ্কিং মানে চিন্তা করা, এবং অ্যাক্টিং ব্যবহার করা বা কাজ করা, বিয়ন্ড মানে যেটা অধিক, মানে এখন আমরা যা করছি তার থেকে বেশি, কারণ লিডার তারাই হতে পারে যারা থিঙ্কিং এন্ড অ্যাক্টিং বিয়ন্ড এবং প্রগ্রেসিভ যারা হয়।
আমি একটা পয়েন্ট
হ্যাঁ
কি
বলেন,
একটু
বলেন।
প্রথম যেই নট ফিট ফর অলটা আমি একটু বলতে চাচ্ছিলাম, সেটা হচ্ছে প্রত্যেকটা মানুষের আম, চারিত্রিক বৈশিষ্ট্য ভিন্ন। তো একজন লিডার হওয়ার জন্য আমাদেরকে সবসময় চিন্তা করতে হবে যে এই ভিন্নতাটাকে আমরা গ্রহণ করব। প্রত্যেকের মধ্যে ভিন্নতা আছে। তো প্রত্যেককে আমরা নেতৃত্ব দিতে চাইলে বা নিজে নেতৃত্বের জায়গায় পৌঁছতে চাইলে আমাদের বিভিন্ন সময় বিভিন্ন কৌশল অবলম্বন করতে হবে, এবং সেই কারণেই সবার জন্য এটা একই নিয়ম তা না। সেই জন্য বলা হচ্ছে নট ফিট ফর অল। আমরা অ্যাডাপ্টেবিলিটির কথাটা এই কারণেই এই ক্ষেত্রে প্রযোজ্য। ধন্যবাদ।
হ্যাঁ, ধন্যবাদ। এরপরে আমরা সাধারণত আমাদের সেশন শেষ করি মিলিয়ন ডলার কোয়েশ্চেন দিয়ে, এবং আজকের মিলিয়ন ডলার কোয়েশ্চেন যেটা বলা আছে যে ইন দিস ডে অ্যান্ড এজ সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপস ডেড আর ওয়ার উই ক্যান অ্যাপ্লাই ইট, বর্তমান যুগে বা বর্তমান সময়ের প্রেক্ষাপটে আজকে কি আমাদের এই সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপটা কি আসলে মৃত, বা এটা কোনো কার্যকারিতা নেই, অথবা এটা কিভাবে আমরা ব্যবহার করতে পারি? তো ডেফিনেটলি আমার মনে হয়, আমার ব্যক্তিগত মতামতে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপ আজকে খুবই জরুরি, এবং আমার মনে হয় যে এটা সবচেয়ে অত্যন্ত ভাবে সার্ভেন্ট লিডারশিপের আজকে প্রয়োজন রয়েছে। যে সেবামূলক যে নেতৃত্ব, এই সেবামূলক নেতৃত্বটা যদি আমরা করতে পারি আমাদের সমাজে, আমাদের ব্যক্তিগত জীবনে, আমাদের সমাজে, আমাদের অর্গানাইজেশন বা কার্যক্ষেত্রে আমরা একটা অভাবনীয় সাফল্যতা অর্জন করতে আমরা পারবো। এবং আমাদের যেটা বলেছি হোয়ার উই ক্যান অ্যাপ্লাই, ডেফিনেটলি আমরা এটা ব্যক্তিগত ভাবে জীবনে বা পার্সোনালি, প্রফেশনালি, আমাদের কাজের ক্ষেত্রে এবং আহ, এই সমস্ত ক্ষেত্রে আমরা এটা ব্যবহার করতে পারি, এবং যদি এটা ব্যবহার করি আমরা আমাদের আমরা আমরা সাকসেসফুল হতে পারি। এবং শুধু আমরা নিজেরাই না, আমরা অন্যকে অনুপ্রাণিত করতে পারি। আমরা জানি অনেক, আমরা অনেককে ফলো করি, আমাদের অনেকের আমরা অনুসরণ করি, যেমন বড় বড় নেতা আমাদের, যারা আমাদের দৃষ্টান্ত রেখে গেছেন তাদেরকে আমরা ফলো করি। তো সুতরাং শুধু আমাদের নিজেদের জন্য না, বাট অন্যদেরকে, অন্যরা যাতে আমাদেরকে অনুসরণ করে এবং তাদেরকে যেন আমরা সঠিক দিক দেখাতে পারি, সেই বিষয়টা আমাদেরকে মাথায় রাখতে হবে। এবং আজকে আমরা খুবই আনন্দিত, আজকে আমাদের সেশন আমরা বাংলায় যেটা করলাম যে প্রেরণা টিভি এবং গ্লোবাল একাডেমি অফ হোলিস্টিক লিডারশিপ এন্ড কোচিং এর পক্ষ থেকে আমরা আমাদের লিডারশিপ স্পিকার সিরিজের 36তম পর্ব আজকে আমরা শেষ করলাম। এবং আমরা খুবই আনন্দিত আমাদের এই সেশনে আমাদের সাথে অ্যাডভোকেট জিয়াউর রহমান, উনি আমাদের সাথে আছেন, এবং আহ, আহ, উনি আইআইটিএম এর সিইও এবং আইইউবি আইইউবির অ্যাডজাঙ্ক্ট ফ্যাকাল্টি। আজকে আপনাদের ধন্যবাদ দিতে চাই যারা আমাদের বাংলা সেশনে ছিলেন। আমরা আমাদের এই সেশনটা প্রত্যেক বুধবারে আমাদের কানাডা, এডমন্টন কানাডা, মাউন্টেন স্ট্যান্ডার্ড টাইমে রাত 9টার সময়, টরন্টো অটোয়া ইস্টার্ন স্ট্যান্ডার্ড টাইমে রাত 11টা, বাংলাদেশে সকাল বৃহস্পতিবার সকাল 10টা, এবং ইন্ডিয়ান টাইম বৃহস্পতিবার সকাল 9:30টার সময় আমরা করি। আপনারা আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন, আগামী অনুষ্ঠানে আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন। So on behalf of Prerona TV and Global Academy of Holistic Leaderships, we are very happy that we are continuing our leadership speaker series, episode 36. And we are very happy that today we have a very important topic, which is servant leadership. And we are very glad that we are having Advocate Jiaur Rahman, our regular trainer and speaker. He is the CEO of IITM and adjunct faculty of Independent University Bangladesh, and he is an advocate. He's a lawyer. So I would like to welcome Advocate Jiaur Rahman. You can share your screen. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can continue. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good evening in Canada and good morning in Bangladesh and rest of the world. We have been doing this series for the past 35th session, and today is our 36th session. Today's topic is servant leadership. So let me move on into my presentation right away. So normally I start up with a number of quotations. So the first quotation on servant leadership is easy for people with high esteem. Such people have no problem giving credit to others. They have no problem listening to other people for ideas. They have no problem in building other people up. It's by Glenn Blanchard. So what this statement is suggesting that if you want to be a true leader, you have to be able to accommodate others. You have to be able to listen to others. You have to be able to give credit to others. So basically, if you are confident about yourself, if you know who you are, what you stand for, and what are your characteristic traits in terms of your qualities and capabilities and your skills, then it becomes easy for you to work with others, bring others on board, give the due respect to the people who are working with you. You are never feeling discomfort as to somebody taking the limelight because you know your own strength, you know your own capacity. You're here to facilitate the growth of the enterprise, the people with whom you're working with. So this is the whole spirit of servant leadership. You are actually pushing yourself along with others to go for a higher strength in terms of your total leadership. So moving to the next slide. And also I wanted to say that you are building up other people through servant leadership. Moving to the next one. It's by Molly Marty. It says, a noble leader answers not to the trumpet calls of self promotion, but to hushed whispers of necessity. A fantastic quote. What it's suggesting is that uh, as a leader, you're not out there to promote your own self. You're not out there to market your capabilities and what you have done and your your output in life, etc. You don't have to do any of that. As a leader, you have to only understand what is out there that needs to be transformed, that needs to be changed, and you put in your effort. And ultimately, you don't have to go and trumpet your own calls. You Other people will actually uh, start sharing your capabilities in your your good work with the world. So you only have to look at the necessities of the world as a leader, as a servant leader, and work towards solving or building up certain areas around you. And that is the way to move forward as a leader. And everybody else will start realizing your commitment, your effort, and your support and your nourishment into the society. And they will push you up to be the true leader. They will start realizing and they will follow, they will line up behind you. So that's what a servant leadership is talking about. It's by Molly Marty. The next one is by Martin Luther King Jr., the famous civil rights movement person in the United States, the true champion of the emancipation of people in the West, and also to he worked in the field of uh, the the rights of the black citizens of United States and the rest of the world. So he's speaking about the idea that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. So the very powerful thought that he is projecting to us is that if you can serve as a human being, if you have that capacity that, to serve, and if you really champion the spirit of serving, then ultimately you will turn into someone great. And this is a very simple equation. If you're so spirited, if you're so committed in serving humanity, in serving your constituency, in serving the people with whom you work, it will rub on to their souls. They will realize that here is someone who is passionately out here and trying to look out for my positions, trying to look out for my situation, and he or she is always out there sticking out to do something additional for our lives, for us to be a little bit better, for taking the organization to the next level. So these are the people who will be the true champions in society, and they will be noticed, they will be emulated, and they will be worshipped. So once you serve your humanity, serve your people, whether it's society, whether it's your business, or your own community, people will start to feel the strength in you. People will start to worship you because they will they will start realizing that you have noble qualities. And when people are serving other people, these noble qualities are easily seen and understood by common humanity. And so Martin Luther King Jr. is saying that build your life around serving people, and then you can be a great champion, or you can be a great successful leader. So honestly, everybody has the potential to serve. You just have to transform your mindset from today. So, if you are listening to the presentation, if you take a vow today, assuming you were a slightly different person, but you take a vow today that I, as a person, am going to start the new transformation in my life. I will start to do a little bit more for the people around me. And if all of us begin to think in these terms, you will see the envelope of growth. You will see the potential of humanity explode in the positive light. Everybody will go out, stick out a little bit extra for the welfare of the other person. And that way, we will have a society which is much more functioning, much more capable and able. And the whole spirit of loving and caring and having the enthusiasm to serve others will be there. So if you are in the corporate world, and if you are competitive, but if you are truly collaborative, imagine the output. Things will come much quicker. Your products and services will be rolled out faster because everybody is 2%, 5% more efficient now because of the spirit that they have inculcated to serve others. So just take the spirit of Martin Jr. King and run. You'll see life is changing and transforming in front of you. Moving to the next slide. This is by Jim George. Serving others prepares you to lead others. It's in the similar vein, just like Martin Luther King. Uh, if you start serving others, you're actually preparing yourself to lead others. Because by serving others, you're interacting with a large number of people. You're going out, talking to people on a regular basis. You are getting to know what their mindsets are, how they think, what are the challenges that they're facing, what are their gaps, what are their opportunities and strengths, etc. So once you get a holistic or 360-degree perspective of the issues that are affecting these people, it becomes easier for you to work out the solution. We know that in our previous slides, we had talked about holistic leadership, and the whole principle of holistic leadership actually encapsulated this idea of taking the spirit of knowing things from multiple angles. If you have the situation addressed from different ideas and different locations and different viewpoints, then you would probably arrive at a comprehensive perspective. And that's what needs to be done in taking your leadership position to the next level. So if you are serving others, you're actually preparing others, and you're also preparing yourself to lead others, because by serving others, they are building a certain level of trust with you. And that is a championing spirit. That spirit will actually push you to the next level. So Jim George has rightfully said that if you prepare to lead, you are actually serving, and you are actually becoming a champion to be a great leader in in the days ahead. Here is a quotation on leadership. It's a simple yet very powerful quotation. What is leadership? Normally you have different set of definitions, and in here I have talked about in the context of today's topic. So leadership is about serving people, listening to people, so you become loved. So the powerful word here is getting the love, affection, trust of others. If you are getting the affection of others, people will start believing in you, and they will question you less, they will follow you more. It's like the love of the mother. If when you are a child, your mother tells us that do this, don't do that, many times you listen to your mom's call, mom's statement, and you if your mom says that don't go to that person is not good, you immediately build a trust, and you associate with your mom's mindset, and you feel that yes, that person is not good. So that's a common philosophy that is within all of us. It's embedded in our soul. So if you are listening to people, if you are getting their viewpoints understood properly, they will feel that they are being they matter in your life. They will feel uh, that they are being respected, and therefore they will also extend their cordiality, their hand of trust with you. They will start to love you. So once you get this love from these people, you are actually going to move to the next level of leadership. So ultimately, moving to the next level and next level is actually the shaping of a leader, actually the process of shaping of a leader. So leadership is nothing but being followed in body and mind by others, because you have established a certain level of love, commitment, and support from these people. So moving to the next one, the idea of servant, we know who a servant is, somebody who is serving others. And this entire idea was brought to this world by Robert K. Greenleaf in 1904 who lived between 1904 to 1990. And he was the founder of this leadership philosophy, and he founded the leadership Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership. There are critics in this world, and rightfully so. They say that the whole idea of servant leadership was established by in the era of Jesus Christ, because we are all servants of God. So this gentleman only took the idea from the biblical context that we are servants of God. We are all serving people. We are all serving humanity. And in the service of God, or in the service of Allah, we are actually pushing the whole perspective of leadership. So without going into any controversy, assuming this managerial leadership idea that this Robert K. Greenleaf projected through this idea of servant leadership. And this whole perspective and idea of servant leadership leads to the philosophy of truly championing the spirit of serving others, serving humanity, serving our business community, serving our stakeholders community. They are all interrelated words and interrelated thoughts. Being holistic in our mindset, being a holistic leader, these are all coming from this principle of serving your community. So this service to humanity, this service to your community is so vital. in building the idea of servant leadership. So if you are a true servant, you are a true leader. And it is very simple, because if you are a true servant, you are truly, you have the true spirit of knowing or trying to know what your people want, what they are needing, and you are truly working to address those issues. So once you are in that type of mindset and that type of energy is within you, you're so passionately driving your community forward that there will be no one to challenge you. Everyone will follow rank with you. They will be supportive of you, and you will work in unison with a great number of people as one unit. And once you are working as one unit, imagine the outcome that you can truly push forward. In this context, I can mention the great historic war of liberation in the context of Bangladesh. And Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was the architect, and he was a brilliant leader in this capacity. So he wanted to serve his humanity. He wanted to serve the views of the people of this the Bangladeshi or Bengali community. Everybody got to the understood the clarion call and supported this entire movement, and that's how we get this independent nation on 16 December 1971. So this idea of servant leadership is so powerful. If you look at Winston Churchill in the Second World War, he he brought in this entire spirit to the British Parliament, that this is the time that we have to engage and be supportive of the downtrodden people of the world. Otherwise, we are not going to be, we can never call ourselves a democratic nation. We cannot call ourselves the true champions of the world. So he made an passionate speech in the parliament, and the entire parliament rallied behind him. And at that point, England uh, and and its allies came and supported in the Second World War. And ultimately, the result was that the Allied forces won over the German forces, the Nazi forces, and we took a giant leap in the history of humanity for the better. So these are important issues. And if you look at Fidel Castro, if you look at Gandhi, these are, and if you look at Nelson Mandela, these are the true champions of servant leadership. The word servant in this context is a very powerful word in management context. You are truly championing a with singularity of devotion to serve your people. If you are in that capacity, you will ultimately be serving people and becoming a true leader. And championing for that spirit will take you miles forward. You cannot imagine. So, as leaders in our own domain, if you start realizing the power and the spirit of this servant leadership, you should begin today. You cannot wait for tomorrow. If you start transforming your mindset, it's all about processing your mindset. If you start thinking that what I heard today, I will take it and I will jump the gun, and I will bring others on board with me in this capacity to serve. I will go and discuss the idea of servant leadership with my team members. I will passionately push the idea of serving people. And if you can rub this idea into other people with whom you work, you will see transformation taking place. Don't expect things to transform overnight, but if you are a true champion and if you are at it 24 hours a day serving your people, others will also start becoming the leader that you are trying to be yourself. You are trying to change yourself by being a true champion of serving people. This will also transform, and it will rub on to other people. So sooner or later, everybody in your enterprise, everybody with whom you're working will start to serve. So if you're a true leader, let's say in the political domain, and if you start with the spirit of I am here to serve my people, the people who are down, who are under you, people who are under your leadership will also inculcate the spirit. They will also start reflecting the same ideas and same constructs and same philosophy that you are bringing to them. So this idea will run like wildfire, and it will build the fabric of a better humanity, better society, better political culture around you. So I would be strongly suggesting that as human beings, let us uh, bring this spirit into ourselves of serving humanity, serving our people, and serving our communities in the field of business or in the field of society. It is regardless. If we are keeping the spirit of happily serving others, the world will also respond. And truly, we will move in the direction of being a leader. Moving to the next slide. So, what are the scopes and possibilities? I had also talked about it during the last few minutes of my presentation, but here, very specifically, we can bring it down to certain components. First is focus. As I mentioned, you have to be focused on a daily basis. If you are not focused, if you're thinking of serving your people today passionately, and tomorrow you forget about it and come back the next few days and you say, oh, okay, I forgot to be very I forgot to have this hat of responsibility to serve my community. For the next few days I will be very passionately serving my people. And if you are going to having a ebb and flow in your strength of serving people, then it will not work. So having the focus on a diligent focus on a daily basis is absolutely a necessity, a vital ingredient to be a true leader. Total customer centric. When you're serving, everybody else outside your own domain is your customer. You have your internal customers, people with whom you're working with, and you have your external customers who are buying things from you or giving you some kind of value added service. They are your external customers. So if you are completely focused on those two domains, then obviously you are disciplined in your mindset and you have the culture of serving people. Leader learns and serves. You have to be learning. You have to grow you have to have your antennas up. Any information that is coming your way, you have to able to synthesize it and get rid of the noise and find the true information that is needed, and then you can design your service level once again for your community. Exploring opportunities based on trust. How can you serve people unless you don't build the component of trust? So trust is a mitigating factor. Trust is a very powerful generic terms in this context. Trust of all kinds would be needed in order for you to serve, and that will also open the opportunities for you. So the opportunities curve will grow around you, and by your trusting relationship, you will be creating more scope and ultimate possibilities for you. And you have to be friendly in nature. If you're a good person at heart, but if you don't have this friendly disposition, people may feel differently around you. People may take you differently, and that may create confusion. So you don't want to be in those shoes. If you are friendly, I'm not asking you to be pally pally all the time, but as a leader, you have to be open and having the communication with your team at all times, and that way they will feel acceptable. They will feel that they have a particular meaning to you and the things that you do. They will feel more at ease around you, and they will also resonate by uh, developing a lovely communicative relationship with you. And that way the possibilities will increase, and your servant leadership will be strengthened, and they will also go and learn and apply those learning that you are you are sharing with these person into their own domains, so the entire society will evolve and improve. So being friendly is an important tool to become a good leader, good servant leader. Moving to the next slide. Loyalty is absolutely important. If you're not loyal, you will not be a good servant leader. So loyalty on both sides. You have to be loyal to your constituents, your stakeholders, and they have to respond equally. And that's that way a proper forging of relationship will take place, and the idea of servant leadership will be super invigorated, and you will be doing a lot of service for your humanity and the people around you. So unquestionable spirit of loyalty should be there. Complete faith. Loyalty and faith are synonymous terms. Having a faith is the belief that my leader, my senior, can do no wrong. He or she is out there to serve us and the people around him or her. Loyalty will also blend in the spirit of trust. You're trusting 100%. You can't be trusting someone on certain issues and not trusting someone on other issues. Yes, there could be some issues like that. For example, you may trust me on financial matters in the sense that I make good judgment call, but you may not trust me in the issue of, let's say, fixing my car. For that, somebody else would be needed. So a true leader obviously will not be championing in all the domains. There would be other people in this process, but in the area of trusting, in terms of relationship, in terms of building rapport, this trusting relationship is absolutely needed in order for you to develop yourself as a servant leader and extending your possibilities curve. Relationship, this goes without saying that at any given moment everybody has to nurture relationship, be it in your family environment, with your children, with your spouse, your community, and your seniors at your work environment. All the time we have to sprinkle water into our relationship, nurture those relationship, because relationship is an ongoing process. So if you want to be a servant leader, you have to nourish and nurture this relationship tree on a regular basis. You have to emphasize the human connections component. So relationships and human connections are interrelated, interlinked, and intertwined. So one feeds the other. So if you build a good relationship basket, you're actually creating good human connections. So this has to go back and forth, and then ultimately this too will lead you to move to the next one, which is a collaboration. A proper relationship basket will build a proper collaborative and participative engagement. And these all points together will build a framework for a true leader to champion the spirit of leadership, promote the idea of servant leadership in the market, and truly grow as a human being, truly grow as a community, as a business leader, and beyond. So I would say the loyalty factor is the most important ingredient, and under loyalty, all these particular parameters have to be addressed and worked upon, and ultimately the component of servant leadership will be there for you, and you will truly be the leader that you always wanted to be. So let us start today. Let us realize that I have the capacity to grow, as Martin Luther King Jr. suggested, that everybody has the capacity. You just have to believe in yourself and start the work today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Moving to the next slide. Adaptability and human mindset. This is the crucial part. You have to adapt to your environment and the mindset. The human mindset has this enormous, immense potential. You have to realize that I have that capacity to adapt to, and I have that capacity to transform my human mindset. So everybody is different and everybody's mindsets are different. So you have to use your adaptability tool according to your capability. So not everybody will be trained or motivated with the same sort of uh, attributes, the same sort of work ethics. So everybody is different. You have to understand that philosophy, and then based on that, you develop your servant leadership uh, conditions and your constituents with whom you're working. The absorbing mindset, everybody has that capacity to absorb in different levels, but as a servant leader, you have to work with them so that they have the capacity to develop themselves into a more of a sponge to take ideas from others. So every time you deal with your people, you have to push them with the idea that keep your eyes open, keep your mind open to other possibilities so you can learn from others. If you're constantly suggesting these words to these people and bring these thoughts to them, then ultimately they will also develop an absorbing mindset. Strong commitment to grow and learn from others. If you are building that spirit on a daily basis, it will also be seen by others, and they will also follow you in that perspective, and everybody will learn from each other, and ultimately the growth will be strengthened. You have to crush your ego. Egos are your like prisons where you don't allow light to enter. So you don't want to be creating small prisons around your mindset, around your head, and you don't allow lights to enter. You want to be opening the windows to possibilities, and it is a must for a servant leader. Constantly challenging yourself. If you don't challenge yourself, you don't go for self introspection on a daily basis, you will never be a good servant leader, because you will not be able to serve your people. People have different mandates, people will have different views and perspective. If you are not there to understand their feelings, understand their perspective, and you're not challenging your own perspective by telling to your own mind that, hey, my perspective is perhaps wrong, their perspective is right, let me learn from them. If you're not doing that transformational perspective of challenging yourself on a daily basis, you will not transform yourself as an adaptable person with the proper human mindset to lead into the next generation, to lead into the future, and transform yourself into a servant leader. Being progressive is so important. If you are thinking that this is what we do all the time, this is how we do things, and I don't want to transform myself, I don't want to listen to anybody else's thought process, this is something different, I don't want to deal with it. If you have that mindset, then obviously you will not be a good servant leader. So at times you have to be very open and adaptive, and be the position to adapt and allow the human mindset to bring the new ideas into your own domain. At times as a leader, you will stick to your vision, you will be uh, truly championing your vision only. But how many times would that be? You have to realize, if it's all the time, then either you better be the world's greatest leader, or there is something that you might be doing wrong. So this perspective of being progressive and thinking and acting beyond your particular domain is very much needed. This is not to say that you will be vacillating, you will be constantly changing your mindset. I'm not suggesting any of that, but I am suggesting that you have the window which will allow new light to seep in, so that you can see things from different angles and perhaps alter your decision. This is at times needed, and that's how you move forward. So moving to I think I've come to the end of my presentation. Yes, I normally finish up with a $1 million question, and today's $1 million question is: in this day and age, is servant leadership dead, or where can we apply it? First and foremost, servant leadership is never dead. Just because the word servant connotes that I will be listening to my master all the time, it does not mean that I will not have my own philosophy. It does not mean that I will not lead with my own thought process. It does not mean any of that. So servant leadership is never dead. Servant leadership clearly means that I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve humanity, my business community, my socio-political community. How will I serve? By having the my 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 having my thoughts open to accommodate your thoughts and blending my thoughts with your thoughts. I would like to lead. So servant leadership is never an issue, that it is going out of vogue. There are other leadership conditions and stances which we will incorporate at all times, but at the crux of all our philosophy, all our actions, if we have the philosophy of serving humanity, then servant leadership is always there with you. Where can we apply? It is applied in every sphere of our daily activities. It can be in the domains of building new products. You have to lead by serving your people, meaning your people who are dealing with this new innovation. You have to listen to them, you have to learn from them, and you have to architect a particular future for them so that you have new products and services. It can be in terms of creating new leadership, in terms of your sales leadership team. You have to listen to them, you have to serve your community, specifically the new community in which you're pushing your product and services. You learn from them and then you serve. So it can be applied there. I think even in military, if you consider, you have to listen to your people, but on issues of their activities, maybe the work that they're doing. But in a militaristic engagement, servant leadership may not be the right tool. You will have to have more of a philosophy of I command and you apply my decision from the headquarters and roll it out. So that might be one very specific area where servant leadership may not be the right tool. But I think in all the other domains, in politics, I think servant leadership is great. In community development, servant leadership is great. If you notice that as an NGO worker, many people become very, very prominent in the community in which they work. And when they are taken out or they get promoted or they are transferred from that position, people actually shed tears for them. Why? Because they became so much involved in the daily lives of the people whom they serve that they built this they they connected with these people and they started to realizing that this person means an important tool person, important uh, person in my life. So they shed tears when they are moved from their position. So this is the whole idea of servant leadership. There is a story I would like to mention. This was by a writer, Herman Karl Hess, in 1932. He wrote a book where he talked about, I think the name of the book, Journey to the East, right? In this book, there was a character called Leo. At one given day, Leo was no longer there. And Leo was serving the management, the people desperately, meaning in a very positive light. And ultimately, at one given day, point in that journey, Leo was no longer working for that organization or that community. Everybody started to feel that where is Leo? People got really frustrated that why can't we get Leo's service? Where is Leo? So Leo all of a sudden rose to the level of a true leader. So the whole idea of servant leadership is finding Leos in life. So if you are a true champion, you will be working with your people and people will take you for granted that we have a true leader in our capacity, who's driving us, who's shedding light, who's illuminating the path, and we are working with their vision. But if that person goes away, then finding Leo would be the a very big issue for that community. So in life, in this journey to the East book, finding Leo, the replacement for Leo was extremely an important issue. Therefore, this person, Leo, in that book by Hermann Hesse, was actually the true leader. So I would like to conclude by saying that let us find Leos within ourselves and move forward in life so that we can serve our people and we can truly champion ourselves to become the true servant leader that the world demands, the world wants. Thank you very much. And back to you, Edward Probir Mondal.
All right. Thank you very much for being with us. And I'd like to thank Advocate Jiaur Rahman for presenting servant leadership as a very important topic. And he very well described with us with examples. Thank you very much. So with that, we conclude our session, Leadership Speaker Series, episode 36. And we'd like to welcome you for our next session. So Prerona Television Canada, in collaboration with Global Academy of Holistic Leadership and Coaching, we're very happy that we are weekly continuing our leadership speaker series, and we welcoming you to attend our next session. As you know, this session is every week on Mountain Standard Time, which is Edmonton, Calgary in Canada at 9 p.m. and Toronto, Ottawa in Eastern Standard Time at 11 p.m. and Dhaka, Bangladesh in Bangladesh time. It is on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. and in Indian time it is 9:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. So we are very happy. Those who are following with us, please do follow, and you are welcome to do if you have any comments or any questions, you can also write to us. We'll be very to hear from you. Very happy to hear from you. Thank you very much, and stay safe and stay blessed.
Thank you very much also from Dhaka. And I would also recommend you to join us in our Zoom platform so that you are participating with us. And then at the end, if you want, we can send you e-certification provided you fill out a discussion question form, and then we will discuss with you, and then ultimately we can offer you the e-certification from two organizations. So thank you very much and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Take care and goodbye from Dhaka.